Alright people, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again to another one here on the coach's desk. We appreciate you being here. I just want to give you a few reasons I believe Chris Taylor made the choice of doing the 100 and the 200 meters at the senior national trials. But before we get into that, please remember to like, share and subscribe. And I'm on the road, my people. I am in the streets, so you're gonna hear a lot of noise, a lot of movements, but you know, I just want to discuss this. I just want to talk about this, yeah, and just share my opinion on the matter. So, you know, before Chris Taylor decided to do the 1-2, there were a lot of talks surrounding it, you know. Yes, there were a lot of discussions surrounding him doing the 1-2. And a matter of fact, he was actually preparing to do the 1-2 just before his ban. And I believe this is one of the reasons why he decided to make the decision to do the 100 and the 200 meters. If you notice, just before the ban as well, he was actually doing one indoors, he was doing outdoor 400 meters, 300 meters indoor. But there was something that I noticed, that he was actually, you know, having breathing issues whenever he finishes those races. And I was wondering what was happening, why Chris seemed to be struggling whenever he finishes one of those races, whether it is a 300 or a 400. And I was wondering, no man, something must be wrong. So I do a little checks, and then I realized that there was some asthma issue. And I said, asthma? I didn't know of Chris having any asthma. Is that something that was developed? And apparently it probably was something that was developed, right, over a period of time. So that is the situation. So I think because of him struggling with the breathing issue after these events, then they would have probably made a decision to try him out. But that didn't materialize because you and I know what transpired, and he was out of the sport. So fast forward, his ban was, you know, up, and there was a lot of talks again surrounding which event he was going to do, and it was announced, you know, that he will be doing the 200 at races, and I indicated that I believe he's also going to be doing a 100 meters at 400 meters, you know, to ease himself back. When he came back and he run that 400 meters, it looked very good, 45.6, right? But one thing I noticed about that 400 as well, he pressed for that first 150, 200 meters, and that was telling me that probably they are working on something, they are trying to see something. And my assessment is that possibly that was a time trial. That was a time trial to see where Christopher Taylor is at in the grand scheme of things, where the transition is going to be, right? Because remember, he would have been moving away from the 400 meters, so he would have had that base, he would have had that you know, strength and endurance from the 400, and so it would have been an easy thing. So Racers Grand Prix came, and it was an excitement to see Christopher Taylor back in a very competitive setting, you know, competing with top class athletes. Brian Level though took the cake. He blew the field away, clocking 19.79, albeit it was windy, and Chris Taylor clocked 20.39, a windy one as well. He came second in that one, and everybody loved what Christopher Taylor did. Everybody was impressed with what Christopher Taylor did. So it was indeed a very, very good, you know, run. He he decided to inform the media that he still doesn't know which event he's going to be running at the trials. He just wanted to do another meet to see where he's at, right? So remember, I said, the 400 was, I believe, a time trial. Yeah, and they probably would have been pleased with what they saw. Hence, they put him in a 200 meter and a 100 meters at the Olympic development. He clocked 10.49 and 20.88, and I believe that they were also pleased, especially with the wind reading. They were also pleased, and they decided to put him in the 100 and the 200. But for me also, I believe that that decision was not solely on his Jamaican coach. I believe that his coach overseas plays a very important role in that decision, because remember, I told you he was being prepared for the 1-2 already. So coming back to go in the 400 meters, that probably would be a daunting task. That probably would be a tough thing for him. The 400 meter right now is hot. You have to be running 43 mid, 43 low in order to be in any conversation where 400 is concerned. 200 is hot still, 100 is even hotter. Yeah, but they believe that with what he has, he can definitely cause problem in those events. And when you look at it, people, check the maths. Most of the athletes who step down from 400 meters to the 1-2, they have done well. We can call a few names. We can call Sherika Jackson, did well. We can call Fred Curley, doing well. I think the only person probably who came down and never do so well, even though he ran 19 and sub, but it never probably worked out for him, was Michael Norman. But he was a talent as well. He had a very long range. So most of the athletes who step down always, and there might be more athletes who step down and they are doing well in the sprints. So I see this as an indicator as well that Chris Taylor will be doing well. There are many question signs surrounding him as well, in terms of how fit he is, how ready he is for the championship. My thing is that all Chris needs to do is to qualify. I think he's doing the 100 to get some sharpness for the 200 meters. So at least 2 rounds of the 100 meters, boom, get in some work so that he can take on the 200 meters. And remember, he has been out for a long time, so he needs races to become sharp. He needs races, and for him to just do the 400 meters, it probably wouldn't give him the amount of races that he needs. So the 1-2 giving him the amount of races that he probably needs to become sharp. So these are all a part of the decision making. It's not only because he cannot run that 43, but doing the 400 meters is not going to give him the amount of rounds that he needs. Also, if he qualifies for the 200 meters and doesn't get the time, he has a long stretch where he can go in and try to get that qualifying time. I mean, I saw what's his name, Javar Thomas tried that. It didn't work out for him. But of course, Christopher Taylor is a cut above probably Thomas in that regard. So I'm looking forward to see Christopher Taylor. So these are my reasons. 400 meters athlete who step down, never do bad at all. The 1-2 will give him more rounds, give him more race sharpness, So I believe, and also his coaches decide, because he was in preparation for that, because of the breathing issue that he was having doing the 400 meters. So these are my few cents where Christopher Taylor is concerned in making the decision to do the 1-2. What say you? Until next time, people. Peace.